Hey everyone, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kat.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot like new going on in life. And you're on week 3, right? Of isolation and not working?
Yes, that's crazy. I cannot believe that. I can't believe I've been home for 3 weeks.
This will be
And you've been home even longer.
5. Yeah. By the time this episode goes out, it'll be 6 weeks.
No, time has actually really flown by since being home.
I'm glad it has for you. It has? Wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't get that part of it.
I feel like I'm not that accomplished.
No, I don't think you can be. I think you go into it with all of these great intentions, but I mean, now I have I've cleaned my house a dozen times. I've organized closets. I've done that sort of stuff, but what else am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Well, we're getting into home projects now, which is going to keep me busy.
So genius of you. Mm-hmm. I wish I bought a fixer-upper at this point. All the things that I could be doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough because, there are certain projects we can't do because we'll have to hire people to come in and finish them. But we're doing some painting and some redecorating and things like that. Things we can order online and do stuff like that. But yeah, it'll keep us busy for a couple weeks at least. Maybe longer.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Might as well use this time to do something, I guess.
I was going to say, I can't recommend anything on TV anymore. I feel like
I really haven't watched. Did you watch the extra episode of Tiger King, by the way?
I did, and I was kind of disappointed. I
watched it last night. I'm glad you feel the same way.
More to it. I was hoping for more drama, and it was just kind of a generic follow-up with everybody, but it wasn't juicy. I don't know.
No, it wasn't. And I usually like Joe McHale, and I don't know. He was just kind of weird. I didn't enjoy the interview. And I know he's very dry, but I feel like some of them didn't even get his humor in a way. So it was a little, I don't know. It was okay. I mean, I enjoyed watching it, but I can't say it was as good as the show at all.
No. Well, and you know that they're planning on doing either a movie or a scripted series for it. And I'm excited.
I'm excited for it too.
These are the things in my life.
I'm so engaged in this storyline. I don't even know why.
I need follow-ups. I need all of it.
Well, I wanted to see a follow-up of the doc guy, the guy that has the elephants and stuff. Yeah. They didn't interview him. There were several people I wanted to hear from. Carol, I was hoping that she was going to be on there too. Where are you at, Carol? Why are you hiding?
Carol's hiding from the police is what Carol's doing.
Oh man, but there's and then the what's his name? The younger guy that was there, that was the campaign manager.
Oh yeah,
I felt bad for him because he's like, I'm gonna save some money to get some, psychiatric help, and I'm like, dude, someone pay for
nobody
this kid.
Gave him help. Yes.
No, I felt so terrible. I was like, it's been years, and this guy still hasn't, been able to get therapy help, and it just kind of broke my heart when he said that. And I just kind of felt bad. I feel bad for all of them. They've all been through a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Makes me feel better about my job at any point in time. My job gets a little dramatic sometimes. The people can be a little bit difficult, but dang, it could be worse.
Could have your arm ripped off by a tiger.
And then come to work 4 days later.
Yeah. So crazy.
Intense.
Awesome. All right. So, we're going to talk watches today, actually.
Are we?
Are we? We are.
All right. Fair enough.
So, we've got, I guess this will come out on a Friday, and our Fridays have been watch review Fridays, which I've had a lot of fun doing.
I have too. I like the watch reviews, and I think people like them.
I think so too.
People haven't said that they don't like them, so.
So that means they like them.
That means they like them. That's my assumption.
What we're hearing. That is what we're hearing, people.
Oh, no.
No, I have gotten some feedback that people do appreciate the way we go about doing our reviews. Are not your typical standard, just like reading the specs and, yes, they are our opinion, but we throw some good questions out there that I think, at least I know I consider when I'm buying a watch.
Exactly. I think that they're important questions to think about when you're buying something. So, and I think that they're questions everybody relates to. Everybody has these sorts of questions. So, and unfortunately, a lot of the times we don't have access to things before we buy them. So it's kind of nice for us to be able to have that access and just kind of share our experiences along with everybody else. So, since we spoke with VJ from Oris earlier this week, it only made sense that we finally do the Oris review. Finally.
Well,
I say finally. We have other watches that we've had for longer, so
yeah, we've got quite a few in, and our hopes is that we'll use this time to knock out a bunch of reviews that we're home. But yeah, we've had. I think I saw where we've had these since February. Is that right? Do you feel like that's right?
I feel like that's right.
That might be right. And, to be fair, we were going to send them back, and we were told just to hang on to them with everything that's going on. So we're not hoarding them by any means. We're not hoarding
them. I'm not
they
complaining
are still in our possession.
Either.
I'm not complaining either at all.
I'm okay with
that. I was definitely a little bit heartbroken to have to send this one back. So
I know.
Getting to hold on to it a little bit longer is probably going to make it harder now.
That's fine.
Because I have become attached to the watch, But yeah, so I've got the Oris Big Crown Pointer Date, and you have the Oris Aquis.
Yes.
In a mint green. I had almost a hard time finding that watch on their website, but I did find it. So I couldn't remember what color, like what they just call it green.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, but whatever. But before we get into this, can we have the conversation that the Oris website is the most unuser-friendly possibly
more than Grand Seiko, though?
No. Grand Seiko's website is the worst website ever. But Oris's is kind of up there.
I don't think it's that bad. I think they have a lot of options, and that can be hard.
Maybe.
But
I don't know.
It's not that bad. It's no Grand Seiko.
It's no Grand Seiko for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Man, it is. It's hard to find stuff on there sometimes.
Yeah, so what we're going to do today, since we don't usually review two watches at the same time, but we both have two different watches. So what we'll do is we'll each go over them a little bit, and then if you want to read over the specs of yours, and then we can start the questions after that.
Yeah.
And then I'll do mine after.
Yeah, that works for me.
I think that'll be easy.
Then just going back and forth. I agree.
Yeah, and that way, so we're not confusing people what watch we're talking about.
Yeah, well, and we each got attached to one watch, and we said, we were like, we'll rotate watches. It's fine. And then we never did. So I have
we haven't seen each other now in a month either. So
I know. Let's use that as the excuse.
All right, so we can, we could dive in a little bit, into Oris's history. I think if you guys want to know a little bit more about that, maybe listen to our episode with VJ.
Yes,
we did go over the history of Oris a little bit more in detail. But I think a lot of people know this brand at this point, and they've been around since 1904. They are an independent brand still, so that means they're not under the umbrella of anybody else, which is really cool in my opinion.
I agree.
So that they're able to kind of do their own thing and not have to worry about, a sister brand or, a mother brand kind of taking over and making decisions for them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that's one of the coolest things I've found out recently about Oris.
Yeah.
And I think that, VJ did a really great job kind of explaining that in the last episode where we did our interview with him. So just kind of explaining all the benefits of that. And like you said, they don't have to answer to anybody. They can do crazy things and not have to worry about it. I really liked that, he kind of explained that kind of tied in with the Pro Pilot X, where they just went up to their watchmakers and said, hey, what could you do? And just let them play with it. And I think that that's really cool from a brand. It's something you don't see a lot of. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. I have a lot of respect for the brand. I've been a fan for a good while now. And I think, we talked about, we had the Chronoris for a little bit, but I think that was my first hands-on experience with Oris, the one that we got from Spanish Rob that was going around. And then, this piece, which I've been really impressed by. So
for sure.
All right, so kind of diving, let's have you go over your Aquis specs on the one that you have before we dive into the questions.
Okay. So, I, like Kat said, I have the mint dial Oris Aquis. This is the one that was introduced last year at Basel World, so in 2018. Basic specs, it's a 39.5 millimeter case, 13 millimeters thick with 21 millimeters lug, and then it's 47 millimeter lug to lug. So it has the Oris caliber 733, which is based on a Sellita SW200-1. Essentially, it's a really basic movement. It's a 3-hand movement, wood date, automatic, of course, with a 38-hour power reserve. It has a domed sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating on both sides because it is a dive watch, with a mineral crystal exhibition case back, 300 meter water resistance. You've got super luminova, the rotating dive bezel, and the dive bezel is actually tungsten, which I did not realize that it was tungsten. I thought that it looked...
I didn't know that.
I know. I thought that it looked very different. I thought for a while it was just a gray ceramic, but it photographs really differently than ceramic does. Yeah, so I was really interested to find that out, actually. Let's see. It is available on either a stainless steel bracelet or a leather strap. I have it on the stainless steel bracelet. I haven't worn it on the leather strap, so this review will have no experience with that. Yeah, and then it retails for $2,200.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, on the bezel, like I could tell it had a little bit of like a different texture on it that
Right.
I'm not used to seeing that texture on that dial, or on the bezel, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Into the fun part now. This is my favorite. I love the questions.
I do love that. So, like, we got all the facts out of the way. And then, so
Yeah.
if you've listened to, this is our third watch review episode. So, like,
It is, yeah.
It is. So, like, the questions are just our opinions. We came up with 5 questions that we would really consider when buying a watch. And we feel most people would consider when buying a watch. That they're not a yes or no answer. It's something you really have to sit down and think about. But it's our opinions. So
yeah, and the reason that we just kind of fly through the specs is because you can go on YouTube and you can watch a video on any of these watches and you'll get a spec reading from a lot of different people, and we kind of wanted to take a different aspect of that and do our own thing with it. But all right, so first question: what is your favorite and your least favorite thing about the watch?
Okay. Favorite thing, the dial. Like, 100%. The dial on this thing is so cool. I love the mint green. I hate even saying mint green because I talk so much crap about green dial watches. But so the mint is such a light color. But then the thing about this watch, if it were just a mint green dial, it would not be as pretty in my opinion. But it has this really gorgeous gradual gradient to gray right around the minute track. And it's just so stunning. It matches the tungsten bezel absolutely perfect with that gray. I adore this style and the way this style is done. And I think that, like, in watches in this sort of price point, you don't see a lot of, like, stuff like that. Just absolutely different with the gradient. So that is my absolute favorite feature. Least favorite. It has integrated end links, which really sucks because I really like to change my watch straps out. I know, like, this is a dive watch. It's, you know, I talk about all the time, like, spring, summer. I always wear watches on bracelets anyways, but, like, I feel like this would look so good on so many different straps, and I can't do that. Wait, does it have integrated end links? No, I'm actually messing with it. I don't think it does. Yeah, so it's not that it's integrated end links. It's the way that the lugs, like, taper in. Yeah, you'd have to have a strap custom made if you didn't do the strap that came with this.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's called. I don't think that's called integrated end links, but
it may not be integrated. It's just that middle portion of the bracelet, the middle link. You could put a strap in there if it was, like, I don't know. It's probably like 12 millimeters or 14 millimeters, super small, but then you're going to have this huge gap too. So you want something that would fit in there perfectly.
Yeah.
Otherwise it would look really, really strange.
Yeah. That's really hard to describe how that will work.
Yeah.
But, essentially you can't put any strap with this other than the strap from Oris, which is an okay strap, but I feel like this would look so good on so much. And I am such a strap person. I mean, I could get straps custom made. I have a few custom made straps. Also, I've gotten to a point where I just don't want to spend like $300 and $400 on a watch strap anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my problem with it. my least favorite feature.
Your problem with it.
That's my beef.
All right, that's your beef with it. Okay, we can handle that.
All
All right, and then how versatile do you think the watch is?
Okay, so this is a little tricky because this is our first dive watch that we've done a review on. So versatility, I feel like for most people, they wouldn't find it that versatile because a lot of people have the idea of like, you don't wear a diver with a suit, that sort of thing. I wear a suit every day and I love wearing divers with suits, so I have no problem with it, but I feel like a lot of people would not find it very versatile. On a scale of 1 to 10, I left it at around a 6 because the dial color, there is some limitation to what color kind of, I know I say that I'm trying not to match my watches with my clothing that much, so that way I can wear them more. I still match my watches to my clothing, so.
You have to. I mean, I don't know. I think we all put thought into that.
I think so too.
You don't just pick up a watch blindly unless you have like something like
if
a
I
sub
were wearing
or a Black Bay or something.
Yeah, like something easy like that. Like if I were wearing a red t-shirt, I'm not gonna wear like the orange Doxa. That's a lot of bold colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like it would be more difficult to pair, and then obviously you have the strap issue. Like not being able to have that versatility kind of knocks it down a few points, in my opinion. But again, and the Aquis comes in tons of different color options. So the Aquis watch in general is definitely very versatile. But this particular dial color is a little bit more special as far as being able to partner it up.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think it can go with a lot of different things. I'm like you. I'm a fan of divers being dressed up. I don't know why. Like out of every other watch, I like seeing those divers.
I do too.
With like suits and stuff. It's very Bond. Maybe it's Bond style. I don't know. I think it's cool.
Right. Like if James Bond can do it, then anybody can do it, right? Like I've worn a cocktail dress with my Planet Ocean. Like it just works.
I love it. I love like it. Big chunky sporty watches on bracelets. Like that is my thing. I love it.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. And then next question. Does the watch, do you feel like it suits its designated purpose?
I mean, it's a dive watch. It's what it's designed for. You have the water resistance there, the 300-meter water resistance, which is something that's important, I know, to both of us. You've got the dive bezel. It clicks very, I don't know if that will pick up, but it clicks really well. I mean, it's easy to turn the bezel as well. So, like, if you were wearing gloves or something like that while diving, I don't feel like it would be an issue. The loom is really good on it, which suits its purpose with the dive watch. You've got the screw-down crown. I mean, it's everything that a dive watch should be. I mean, the only beef that anybody, I feel like, could say in us calling it a dive watch is it can't really be certified dive watch by ISO standards because it doesn't have a helium escape valve. Like 0.018% of people will ever actually need a helium escape valve, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I feel like it definitely suits its purpose for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say too because it's winter here, or it's coming out of winter. It's spring now, but we're like
it
we
was
can't
30
swim with
degrees this morning. 30 degrees, by the way. Like no, it's not spring apparently.
Yeah, had it been warmer weather, maybe we would have gotten out to the pool with some of these.
Yeah.
All right, and then going on to the next one, does the watch provide a fair value for its costs?
Okay, so $2,200. I've always believed that Orises are amazingly well priced for what they are. Like they just have such a great quality and craftsmanship. So yes, essentially, but like, I like how in our very first of these watch reviews, you did some comparisons with a few other watches. So, other dive style watches that use the Sellita 200-1 movement, you have the Zen Diver U1. Very similar price point. It is more water resistant, but it's bigger, it's bulkier. I mean, so there's similar price, and I feel like that's pretty fair. Another one you have is the Christopher Ward C60, which is half the price. But the thing about the Christopher Ward is you're not gonna have the types of finishing that you do on the Oris. Like the finishing on the Aquis is absolutely phenomenal. So I feel like that's kind of the disadvantage there. And then of course it's bigger, bulkier, things like that as well. But yeah, I think it's exceptionally fair for what it is. 100%. I think it's underpriced, honestly, for what it is. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the versatility question a little bit.
Okay.
Just something I thought about. Do you feel like that color is versatile for a man or a woman? And do you feel like it leans more towards a lady's color?
So it's not listed. First of all, Oris doesn't list anything as a man or women's watch on their website, which I love. But if you look on watch reviews, if you look on like Watch You Seek or Chrono 24, someplace like that, and you look under the description, it's listed as a man's watch. I think it could be, unisex. I do feel the color's a little bit softer. So, it probably, if I were a man, I don't think it would be the only dive watch in my collection, but I think men could definitely pull it off for sure.
Yeah.
But I like it because it is a very good option for a woman who wants a little bit of a bigger dive watch without getting into like, a super high-end kind of dive watch. Like we know a couple of people who have a couple of ladies who have this watch too. So
it's not like super feminine either.
No, not at all. It really isn't. It's very neutral for sure.
And then last question here, would this be a watch that would get regular wear in your collection?
Yes. Like it's gotten a lot of wear, honestly, in the 2 months that we've had it. It's different than anything in my collection because of the dial, but it's still safe. And that's something that I kind of like. Like, I like to think that I like this idea of something crazy and unique and different. But really, I just want it to be different but still safe enough. Like, it can't be too out there. Like, it's not over the top. I do feel like, so even on the bracelet, I love the bracelet. But the bracelet has those high polish edges. I'm not a fan of high polish in a bracelet because I just know that I'm going to scratch it up. But I've seen people fully brush the bracelet. Our friend Ace has Aquis, and he recently brushed his bracelet. And it does look nice with a fully brushed bracelet. Yeah. So I would probably do that.
Yeah, I think that takes away, it brings it more into much more of a tool watch than a piece that could be. I think if you leave the polish, then you can dress it up because it has that polished end to it, and it looks a little bit nicer versus having it all brushed. You kind of take away from that versatility a little bit too. Yeah, it becomes much more just like a tool watch. But
yeah, I agree.
Any last thoughts?
I mean, so I've had it for 2 months. I wear it pretty regularly. It runs well. The movement runs really well. It's solid. Like, I mean, it has a decent amount of heft to it. It's not too heavy. It's not too big, not too bulky, which I really enjoy. I really enjoy it. It's awesome. Honestly, it's comfortable. It's comfortable on the wrist, and it's practical. Like, I think that it's a practical entry level luxury watch for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Moving on to Kat with the pointer date.
Yeah, the Oris Big Crown pointer date. It's like the longest name for a watch. When I have to tag that on Instagram, I'm like, oh gosh, struggle. Because then I'll misspell one of the words and then I got to go all the way back.
You have to delete the whole thing. Man, Instagram really struggles with the way these hashtags operate. Okay, well, do you want to start with the specs of the Oris Big Crown pointer date?
Yeah. We'll just call it the Big Crown. How about that?
All right.
Or the pointer date.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the blue dial. It's a light blue dial. It's 40 millimeters. It has a 20 millimeter lug width. Thickness is 12 millimeters. It's got a 48.4 millimeter lug to lug.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So that to me is perfect. If it's under 50, I know it'll fit my wrist. Anything over 50, I can do like a 51, but I'd rather not. That's really at the edge of what my wrist will hold. So yeah, I definitely like that. And then stainless steel case, screw down crown. There's 100 meters of water resistance on this one. It has got a sapphire domed crystal, and there is anti-reflective coating. It's on the inside of the crystal. There is a see-through case back on this one. Yours didn't have a see-through case back, did it?
Yep. It did.
It does have a see-through case back. Oh, sweet. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking that one didn't. I missed that part.
I think not paying
you
attention.
Did say it.
I know I did say it. I think a lot of
I was so excited about the questions. I just tuned it out. Well, let's see. This one has the automatic 754 movement from Oris, which is based on, I think, the Salida SW200. And then, of course, it has the red rotor that I think Oris is really famous for doing, which we didn't really talk about, but is a really cool touch.
It is a cool. I love that red BJ. Why the red rotor? Man, these are the questions that we should have asked.
Dang it! Homework. We didn't do our homework. We'll text him. We'll ask him.
We'll follow up.
This one has a 38-hour power reserve on it, which is nice. Yeah, cathedral hands. I'm a big fan of cathedral hands. Mm-hmm. And then what makes this watch a little bit special is that it has a calendar date wheel around the dial, around the outside of the dial. So instead of having a normal date wheel in it, it has another hand, which kind of works like a GMT hand, but it extends all the way out to the outer rim. And it just tells you what day it is, which I think is really cool. So that's kind of what makes this watch special to me.
Yeah.
Is that date wheel that goes around the edge, but it's really cool.
Very much so. And
then I like you, I got this watch on bracelet because I just wanted to see what the quality was like in the bracelet. So they offer this at $1,900 for the bracelet and about $1,700 for the leather strap. And for those listening, when I got this watch, I took it off the bracelet. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but I put it on a strap and then it was like, okay, I'm wearing this on NATOs, I'm wearing it on leather. And the bracelet has sat in the box for almost 2 months. And I think it was last week I was texting you. I took it out and sized it. And oh my God, I'm not taking it off the bracelet now.
Yeah.
I love it. It's super nice. It's almost very like Jubilee-like. There is, 4 links in it. Just a really cool, bracelet. And what I like most about it, it is a 20 millimeters at the lug, but it tapers down to 16, which I love a bracelet that tapers down to 16 millimeters. So
yeah,
that's like one of my favorite things about it. But yeah, I think that is everything for as far as specs go.
Okay. So into the fun stuff?
Yeah, I think into the fun stuff. This watch, like the pointer date, I don't know about the Aquis, but I know this one has been around since like 1938. This watch was originally intended for pilots to use.
Overachiever with the facts.
See, I did my homework.
Overachiever.
So I think they brought it back. I think in the 80s, they brought the watch back as the quartz crisis was hitting as another automatic piece, and it's just kind of stayed in the collection since. But this is definitely out of Oris's collection. The big crown pointer dates are my favorite.
And I think that's what I like about this whole thing is we, when VJ had reached out, like we each picked basically what our favorite watch in their collection would be. So like we got to have the experience with watches that we've been talking about buying anyways or thinking about buying, which was really cool. But
yeah, and this watch, I think this came out in 2018, so it's not a new model by any means, but out of the colorways that they have, and they have a lot of colorways that you can get in this watch, the blue was my favorite. So I was glad I was able to get my hands on one.
All right, so into our questions. Kat, what is your, I don't know why that made me chuckle. What is your favorite? Don't laugh because then I'm going to laugh for 10 minutes.
I know. I'm like hiding my smile behind the mic.
Hide your face at the FaceTime. Okay, so what is your favorite and least favorite feature about the pointer date?
Okay, so my favorite is the dial color. It's amazing to me. The blue is one that we don't see very often. It's very like pastel-like, and I think even your mint Aquis is like that too. It's a shade of green that we just don't see very often, and it's very vintage inspired, and I really like that. So, and it was a toss up because it was either the dial color or it was the red tip of that date wheel hand.
I think I'm obsessed with really well. That's the thing. Yeah. Like the red stands out even more because of that really kind of soft blue in the background.
Yeah. And the blue, it's not a blue that really changes in the light. It looks the same whether you're in the dark or whether you're outside in the sun. It stays the same color. So it's not going to change gradients or anything like that. But yeah, I just love that vintage, really light blue, baby blue. Just all the past. They have a green one that's very similar to your mint Aquis, and that's a really cool one too. And then they have a dark green, they've got brown, they have red, a deep red. So they like playing with colors, and I like that a lot.
For sure. What about your least?
least favorite. Least favorite, I think, is going to be the crystal.
Really?
And it's not that it's domed. I don't mind that it's domed. I actually like that. It adds a little vintage appeal to the watch. It's that I wish they would have done an extra layer of the anti-reflective coating. And I say that, and it's not just for my photography purposes because it can be a little bit of a pain to take pictures of. But when I'm outside, the sun hits it and it is a little bit hard to see. So I would have liked to seen an inside and maybe even an outside coating of the anti-reflective.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's just something I probably would have liked to seen because it does make it a little bit more difficult to read, in my opinion.
No. And again, it's what suits you and your lifestyle. So
yeah,
it being hard to photograph is a complaint for you and your lifestyle. So
well, and that's why I was like, it's not just for my photography. It's that it is harder. It's practicality. Yeah, if you're out there and you're wanting to look down at your watch, it can be a little bit hard to read for sure.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So how versatile did you find the pointer date?
I found it very versatile. I mean, this watch can go essentially on any strap and it looks great. I put it on several leather straps, on NATO straps, and it looks fantastic. I even put it on a green strap and it looked good on it, a green NATO that I had. So I think it's incredibly versatile, especially knowing that this watch falls into a category that I don't know what to put it in. It's kind of a pilot watch. It's kind of a field watch. It's kind of a casual watch. I don't really know what to call it, but it goes with a lot of those categories, and putting it on this bracelet, it's now a dress watch. So yeah, I think it's incredibly versatile. I think that if you're looking for your first Swiss piece and you're wanting to get into one of these mid-tier brands, this is a great option because it can go with so much.
Yeah, I would agree.
I will say that I think just be careful. Just be careful if you buy this watch on a bracelet because the bracelet is completely polished. So if you don't like having a watch that stands out, maybe buy it on the strap instead. I think it's still a great watch because it does have brush finishing on it, on the case, but on the bracelet, it's complete polish. I like it. I like the look of it, but if you're someone that doesn't want to draw attention to your wrist, maybe that's not the route that you should go. But yeah, I think it can be a dress piece really nice. I think they don't offer, Oris doesn't offer a lot of dress watches. They do have their collection where they have the collaborations they've done with some of the musicians, and those pieces are a little bit dressier, but they don't really have like a dress watch collection. So I think this watch would go really well.
No, I think I'm glad you clarified that it was a high polished bracelet because I've not seen it on the bracelet, I don't believe. But I was wondering how you came to the conclusion that it was a dress watch on the bracelet, and that would definitely, the high polish would definitely make it that way. Okay, so question number 3, does the watch suit its designated purpose?
I think so. I didn't know how to, rate this one because, like I said, it's kind of a field watch. It's kind of a pilot watch. It's kind of this watch. It doesn't really sit into one category, but because it doesn't sit into one category, I think that it would go fine with whatever your purpose was. Okay. I wouldn't buy this watch if you're looking for a dress watch. Probably not the way I would go. But if you're looking for a field watch alternative, something that's a little bit nicer than maybe some of the Hamiltons or Seiko or something like that, that's a great option to have. So I think it does. And I think, Oris does really well. They have these in 36 millimeters. They have them in 40 millimeters. They have them in various, color options. They have like 10 different colors. So I think that you can find an Oris pointer date that fits you and your style. They have a bronze case pointer date, which is really cool too. And that's certainly a little bit more rugged, I feel like. Yeah. But it's hard to say if it suits its purpose because I don't know what the purpose is, but I feel like it does. I'm going to go with yes.
If its purpose is one of these 4 things, then yes.
Yes, I think it's a good all-around watch to have. I really do.
Yeah, I would agree.
This is one that I would consider adding to my collection as well.
I would agree.
Just because it's so cool. I like it. I think this was a home run for them.
Okay. All right. So is it a fair value for its cost?
Okay. So this is tough because there's a lot of competition with these type of watches, I feel like, that kind of border around Explorer watch, field watch. And I would say maybe at 8 out of 10, I would rate it as far as value for cost. The only complaint I would have is I would like to see a little bit more refined finishing on the case at this price point. Okay. And I'm looking at a couple of other watches like your Stoa Veris, for instance, that's gray. I think that is a similar watch. if you're going for the pilot watch aspect of this, I think that's a comparable piece. The quality is really good with the Stova. I think it retails for $900 something.
I don't even think that.
It's like $9.
I think it's $795. I think it's less than $800, and the fact that watch was still available a few days ago is insane.
Yeah, so you have that, and then of course an immediate comparison that comes to mind is the Seiko Alpinist. I think these watches can go head to head. There's a lot of similarities between the two. And then that you're looking at around $700 for that. And then, I put a Monta Triumph in there at $1,500 because I think that's another field watch option that comes on bracelet as well. So a 500 different price point. We both know what, the Monta's quality is. And this is very close. And I'm not dogging Oris's quality because the quality is really good. I would have liked to seen just a little bit more, like for instance, the, I guess you call it a coin edge bezel that they have on it. It's not as refined as I would want it. Same with the edges where it comes between polished and brushed. I would have liked to seen a little bit more sharper lines on it. But that's just me being picky. It's still a great value, I feel like, for what they asked for it.
Yeah, fair enough. And then last question, would it get regular wear and last in your collection?
Absolutely. This is a question I've kind of been asking myself a lot lately because since having this watch, I've actually considered selling my Alpinist and getting one of these instead because, I've really fallen in love with this watch. I like the size. I like the feel. It's a little bit more versatile than my Alpinist is, especially with this dial color. The green can be very sporty and rugged, but this blue can kind of, like I said, dress up or dress down.
Yeah.
And I love the date complication on this. I love that, the red tip of that date hand is just so cool. So yeah, I've got to think about it myself. It's a question that I've been pondering. Of course, I ponder a lot.
Yeah, you do.
But I do. I like the look and feel. And I've been asked quite a bit on Instagram if, what size the watch was, because I think a lot of people assumed I'd go for a 36. Well, they don't make this blue dial in a 36. They have the green, they have the red, and some of the others. But
40 millimeter is such a good
I tell you what,
size.
I would not go with a 30. After having this one, I like the feel of this. I like the look of it on my wrist. I have a 6.5 inch wrist. And we'll post pictures of wrist shots and all of our shots of the watch on the website that you guys can look at. But I honestly would stick with 40 personally.
I agree. It looks good on your wrist. It's so thin too that I feel like that really takes into consideration. I feel like you can go bigger as long as you stay under that 50 millimeter lug to lug and you have a thinner profile.
Yeah, I think so too. I would recommend the 36 if you want to go more vintage feel. Because those are that vintage feel, or if you just have a smaller, maybe less than 5 and 7/4 wrist or something like that, maybe the 36 would fit you better. But honestly, I love the 40, and I cannot I can't wait to see what else they do this year with the pointer dates, because every year they're putting out more colors, and I'm really excited to see what else they do.
Okay. And final thoughts.
I didn't write anything for my final thoughts. I guess I was gonna wing it.
Got it all out.
I got it all out. I think, again, this watch is just really, really versatile. I took it to the mountains. I took it hiking. I've taken it hiking around town. It's 100-meter water resistance. It's got a screw-down crown, so you literally don't have to worry about this watch.
Yeah.
You could take it swimming if you wanted to. It's just a great all-around piece. And if you're looking for your first Swiss timepiece and your budget is under $2,000, well, there's quite a bit of options, but this one to me is a great option if you want, like I said, if you want a field watch, if you want an explorer watch, if you want a dress watch, get this thing on bracelet and you can do a lot with it.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I would totally agree. And I think it's something you've talked about a few times, now, just in kind of wrapping up, but Oris really does offer something for anybody. Yes, there's a lot of sizes, there's a lot of dial colors, but you can find anything. I was, I've mentioned this before, I was very Goldilocks about the Aquis. I loved the Aquis for so long, but I couldn't find the right fit. And then this 39.5 millimeter came out and it fit perfectly. And I really enjoy that about the brand. I think it's okay to have a bigger collection because, and I think this is something that was really conveyed very well by VJ during his interview. they're a brand for watch enthusiasts, so they respect the fact that not every wrist is the same. So you can't just have one watch in 2 colors and one size and that be all. People fall in love with these watches, but then it's frustrating when they don't fit you right or when something's kind of off about it. So having the kind of versatility Oris has in its collection is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
My experience has definitely been good with Oris as far as this piece goes, and yeah, I highly recommend it. I think it's a great watch. And there's not much I would change about it. I even like, I'm not usually a big fan of painted numerals, but I like them here. I think it fits the aesthetic of the watch. I don't think applied numerals would look good on this type
I
of
agree.
watch.
I agree.
And I think it makes that really like flat dial really makes those hands pop, the stainless steel hands that are polished. So I think it looks really good. It's a winner. Oris, they're doing some amazing stuff. And if you haven't listened to our interview yet with BJ, the North American CEO, go back and listen to the episode we did earlier in the week. I'm really excited to see what they do this year.
Agreed. Definitely agree.
There's very few brands that make me excited, and Oris, Zodiac, Nomos, Manta, these guys are the ones that I get excited about. Because if I'm being honest, it doesn't matter what Rolex puts out because I'm not gonna be able to get it anytime soon anyway. Same with Tudor. So while it is exciting, they don't make me jump out of my seat or anything.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree.
Yeah, I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah, thank you. Again, thank you to VJ, who I know will listen to this episode.
Absolutely.
You were so awesome to talk to. We've loved getting to know you better. And thank you for reaching out, and thanks to you and Oris for sending us these watches. This is not sponsored in any way by Oris. Like, we're just fans of the brand.
If you want to sponsor the show.
Yeah, right. Like, let's talk. But I don't want people to think that these are any kind of sponsored reviews. We get all of these watches in. You guys always ask us questions about it. So, we just thought we'd take these kinds of opportunity to speak a little bit more about them than just doing like a 5-minute write-up, on a website somewhere. So, thank you to Oris for supporting us and sending these to us for review. We hope to have a few more pieces in from Oris as time kind of progresses. Make sure you head over to our website, which is www.tenn2.com, and there'll be pictures of everything, a lot of the shots that we've taken personally, and just kind of everything we've talked about. All of the questions will be detailed there as well. And then follow us over on our Instagram at Tenn2 Media and Facebook at Tenn2 Media. I guess I think that wraps it up. So everybody, I know I think I say this every day, or every time we speak, but y'all just stay safe. Take care of yourselves.
Thank you guys for listening, for your support. We've enjoyed being home and being able to get on Instagram and talk to you guys daily. But we've got some stuff still coming up that's going to be fun. We've got a Hot X episode coming out next week.
I know.
With our buddies.
All the boys. We video chatted for this episode too, which was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun. We definitely need to do that going forward.
I agree.
I like seeing everybody.
Except for Rick, who refuses to be shown.
We still don't know what Rick looks like.
No, this is ridiculous. So that episode will be fun because basically we recorded that the day that Rolex, Tudor, Patek, Chopard, and Chanel pulled out of Basel. So there was definitely some fun launch chat then, but be on the lookout and get caught up on some of the other episodes if you guys have missed some. We've done some really awesome interviews. I love this time right now because we're getting so many great interviews. So
it's been great.
It's super cool. So make sure you guys get caught up and stay safe. Bye, y'all.
Bye.